Geisha are one of the most captivating symbols of Japan. Their iconic appearance is unmistakable thanks to the elaborate makeup, hairstyle, kimono, and more. Yet much of a geisha's lifestyle and responsibilities remain shrouded in mystery, with many misconceptions about the profession spoiling its image. To help shed light on this secretive world, we've put together 12 fascinating geisha facts sure to surprise. What is a geisha? A geisha is a Japanese female performance artist, traditionally hired to entertain guests at tea houses and social events. During such events, a geisha will sing, dance, perform music, host tea ceremonies, and serve food and drinks, all while engaging in lively conversation. The meaning of geisha comes from two kanji characters, gei, meaning arts or entertainment, and sha, which means person. The word translates as a person of the arts. A woman wanting to become a geisha must first serve an apprenticeship where she will learn the many skills required for the role. An apprentice geisha is called a maiko, and an apprenticeship takes around 5 years to complete. To become a geisha, maiko will take lessons on how to sing, dance, and play music. They will also learn the art of conversation as well as the formal hosting skills expected of a geisha. There are several different terms for geisha. While the word geisha is widely known, it is actually just one of the terms used to refer to Japan's traditional female entertainers. Though now widely accepted as the standard, geisha was originally reserved for entertainers in Tokyo. In Kyoto, geisha are called geiko, which shares the same gei kanji as geisha, while its second character is replaced with ko, meaning child or young person. In the western cities of Niigata and Kanazawa, geisha are known as geigi, with gi, meaning artistic woman. Despite the different names, all still refer to what are commonly seen as geisha. Geisha still exist in Japan today. Though the number of geisha in Japan has steadily declined since the golden age of the late Edo period, 1603 to 1867, it's estimated that there are still around 600 geisha working in Japan today. Despite more stable career paths available, some young women are still drawn to the allure of becoming a geisha. Today, around half of Japan's geisha live and work in Kyoto, though there are still a few geisha districts remaining in Tokyo, Kanazawa, Niigata, and Hachioji. Geisha districts are known as hanamachi, meaning flower town, and were established during the 17th century when laws were passed to contain certain forms of entertainment within specific neighborhoods. The most famous hanamachi in Japan is Gion in Kyoto, where a number of Okiya geisha lodging houses remain. The area is popular with tourists and is one of the best places to see the modern geisha. The narrow, Atmospheric Alley of Ponto Cho and Kamishichikan in the northwest are two of Kyoto's other remaining hanamachi. Kanazawa has 3 hanamachi, the most famous being the historic Higashihaya. Amongst these old streets is Okayashima, a beautiful old tea house built in 1820 that once hosted geisha performances and is now open to the public. Tokyo itself boasts 6 remaining hanamachi districts, the most prevalent being Asakusa and Kagurazaka. Apprentice geisha are called maiko. An apprentice geisha is called a maiko. It takes around 5 years of training for a maiko to become a fully fledged geisha. The word maiko means woman of dance, and today their journey usually begins at around 15 years old, soon after graduating junior high school. Typically, a prospective maiko will make an application to begin an apprenticeship with an okiya, which are owned and run by a female head of house called an okasan, meaning mother. During her training period, maiko will learn a wide range of skills to entertain her future guests, including learning to play traditional Japanese instruments such as the shamisen and koto, along with singing, dancing, and the art of the Japanese tea ceremony. Along with performance, maiko will also study other elements of traditional Japanese culture, including calligraphy, flower arranging, poetry, and literature. They will also attend events with established geisha to learn the correct etiquette to entertain. When a maiko has completed her apprenticeship at around 20 years old, she will become a geisha. This event is marked with a ceremony called erika, meaning the turning of the collar, where she will finally wear the kimono and elaborate wig that denotes a geisha. A geisha's trademark look relies on a serious makeup routine. A fundamental element of a geisha's appearance is the brilliant makeup. Both maiko and geisha cover their faces and necks in a traditional white foundation called oshiro, a powder mixed with water to become a paste. Before applying, a geisha puts on a layer of wax called binsukabura to help smooth her skin before oshiro is applied with a wide brush. Next, a subtle yet distinctive red lipstick, called beni, is added along with black eyeliner and red pigment around the eyes. Heavily defined eyebrows drawn using pigment complete the iconic look. A geisha carries out this routine every day, taking between 30 minutes to an hour. The only part left free of oshiro is the back of the neck, where 2 or 3 small patches of clear skin are left uncoated. These are called iriashi, and are left to give the impression of elongating the neck. The makeup is wiped away at the end of the night using a dissolving oil. Some geisha used to commit to a single client. In the past, some geisha were supported financially by patrons called dana. A dana would pay for almost all of a geisha's lifestyle, including her clothes, jewelry, and living expenses. As funding such an extravagant lifestyle is expensive, a dana would need to be an incredibly wealthy man. In exchange for their patronage, a geisha would commit exclusively to their dana and would not be available for hire by anyone else. Whilst a romantic connection between the geisha and dana could sometimes develop, it was much more common for the relationship to remain purely platonic. Being a dana brought high social status and was a sign of extreme wealth. Geisha were originally men. As hard as it is to believe, the very first geisha were men. Before the female geisha developed into what we know today, Japan's first group of entertainers were the male taikomochi or hokan. These roles developed from what we might call jesters, who would entertain Japan's feudal lords with dancing and storytelling. By the 17th century their role had changed. No longer needed to entertain the lords, they instead moved to the pleasure districts to perform for the general public. The term geisha began to be applied to taikomochi around this time. By the mid-18th century, female geisha also began to perform in these pleasure districts, which is when the term geiko came into use. Geiko swiftly overtook their male counterparts in popularity, and by the early 19th century, the vast majority of geisha were now women. Taikomochi were forced to evolve again, now playing a supporting role to the main female geisha. With the dominance of the geisha, the number of taikomochi in Japan continued to fall. Today there are believed to be only a handful still performing in Japan.
花魁道中とは、花魁、共回りの心臓、髪を男腰に至るまで、総勢一つとなって練り歩く、団体芸の極地でございます。一人一人の芸はもちろん、全員の姿が一層の船となる光景を